USDCHF. So on trading this week, I took a short position on USDCHF, and I'm going to be breaking down what I saw in the market from the previous week that allowed me to think about the trade idea altogether. So let's start. So on USDCHF last week, the previous week, we had a bearish dollar. So DXY. So on DXY the previous week, I noticed this area. We were really pushing low on the dollar, and once we created this on Friday, which was on the 25th of February, I think a news came out or something around that level. So immediately I noticed that, because if you're trading, I trade correlating pairs. So trading DXY and USDCHF, once the DXY is bearish, you definitely know that most of the pairs that are correlated with the USD are going to be shorting when the USD is on the upper side. So when we have USDCHF, we have the USD as the main pair, so it's going to be shorting. So after this week, after this bearish price action happened on a Friday, and we had this. So this is already my chart, so I'll just take this so you see. I use the bar replay to explain what happened. So this is what we had on Friday close on DXY. Similarly, I noticed this situation here. I already found this area. I noticed this area as a supply zone. So when I mean a supply zone, I mean an area of interest where people or where sellers will be interested in going short or looking for liquidity to go short. So we had the supply zone, so one confluence on the DXY. So as soon as this was ready, the new week started and we had all of this. I already put my box right on it, my rectangle box right on this area, in expectation for price to come to that level of interest. So this is my area of interest here. This area was my first area of interest. So we had this sorted and I was ready. I was waiting for the next week. So price just kept playing. Then we got to this place on a Tuesday, the 18th of February. Once I saw this, it just got to my subconscious, based on testing and time again and working on my strategy, that most of the Euro USD will be buying at this situation, because we will have lots of demands on the Euro USD. For USDCHF that I was looking at, this was the pair I was really looking at. We were on this area, so I was looking for price to, if you see, this is very, very similar to the DXY. This is what when we talk about correlating pair, it is very, very similar to the price action playing on DXY. So these two areas has now created a supply zone where I am interested. Now, aside from the supply zone it created, we have a double top formation on the 4-hour time frame. So, and you know, most of the price actions that plays on the 4-hour time frame, they are very, very serious price action. You don't joke with it, because it takes 4 hours for this candle to play. So 4, 8, 16, and it keeps going. So we have enough time for decisions to be made on this particular area. So now going back to the trade I was interested in, I came onto the weekly and I saw that from the weekly we had a big ginormous bearish push from a resistance level at this area. So I went down to the daily, noticed the patterns. We had multiple rejections on the resistance zone here, and we have a point of interest here. So coming down to the 4-hour time frame, which is the time frame I trade as a swing trader, I swing and I day trade. So, but for most of my forex pair, I swing on my forex pair. So looking at this, if you look at this and you look at DXY, they don't look exactly the same as at this point. DXY has already arrived at the point of interest, but USDCHF has not arrived where I really wanted it yet. It was still short some area. So for me, once price has to go and do exactly what I want, else I'm not taking that trade. So now, given the fact that DXY has already arrived there, doesn't give me the prerogative to go and take a trade on USDCHF. So I have to wait for USDCHF to do what it has to do. Remember, these pairs have different identities. Because one is doing something doesn't mean the other one has to do exactly the same thing at that exact time. So I had to wait for USDCHF to play exactly what I wanted. So we had this, we had a bit of push on the downside. Now we have my area of interest aligning with my thought process for the week. So we have one level here, supplies, another supply zone making a double top. Now what am I looking for? I can't just sell here because this doesn't, yes, it's on my area of interest, but this doesn't give me a reason to sell. Now why should I sell? I'm selling because I'm seeing patterns that resonate with the entry patterns I do take in the market. There are patterns I look for in the market, and if it doesn't play out, I'm not interested in taking that trade, even if it's in my area of interest. So some of those patterns, let me highlight them for my new followers or my new subscribers that have not been with me a long time. So some of those patterns are the engulfing. We also have, like, on this particular area now, I'm looking for like the morning or evening star. So this area will make an evening star. So we have an evening star here, an evening star formation. So these are some of the, or multiple rejections, and it has to be dojis. So these are my entry requirements. So if I don't find these patterns in my point of interest or in my area of interest, I'm not looking to go short on this particular position. So now we play the waiting game. So this is 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Remember, I've already seen or expected price to do this from on the Friday the previous week. So we had this on Wednesday. Now I wait. We play the waiting game. You can see this is the reason why you don't sell short immediately. You have to wait for price to give you a reason to go short or a reason to go long. It has to give you concrete reasons. So now we keep waiting. So imagine I had sold short and I use a tight stop loss. Price will have just taken me out for no reason. I'm just going to be losing percentages for no reason. So with that being said, we had this candle. Now look at the whole dynamics of this trade. We had this candle, but watch, we have this candle around 22 o'clock. That's midnight. So now these are some of the another entry requirements. These patterns, this is an evening star presenting itself right here, but this evening star is not playing out in my time frame for entry. I trade only the London, New York overlap, and the New York session. So since this is not playing exactly at the time and the patterns have already played out, I'm not taking that trade. I'm not interested in a trade. So what do? We keep waiting. We play the waiting game. So now we wait for the next candle. The next candle was 6 o'clock in the morning London session. So this is ready to go. So immediately I notice these two things. Now notice the things. We have a point of interest here. We have another point of interest here. We have a supply zone. We have ready sellers. We have momentum in our favor. See, this has a lot of things to put in place before I take a trade. That is why when I take a trade, especially on the swing side, most of my trades are always, I average about 60 to 70% winners on my trades. So now I go in short. This is the exact position where I took this trade. I took it about 0.90263. So now if we go on the smaller time frame, let's go on the smaller time frame. You can see that both the 2 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minutes, everything shows we are ready for sales. You can see the 15 minutes time frame, the 1 hour time frame, they're all aligned with my trade idea or what I was looking for in the market. Then the 2 hour time frame, you can see we have multiple rejections, we have volume in our favor, and we're ready to go short. So I short the market on this particular position, and Now let us see how the markets played. I think we had no drawdown, yeah, little to no drawdown, and price just pushed immediately. So for me, immediately price did this. I have to check, what do we have here? We have a 1 to 1.5 already. Once we have a 1 to 1.5, I do not expect myself to take a loss on this trade. Imagine price reverse, because we have an area here that price can likely reverse from. So what do I do with that information? I set a break even. So I set a 1-to-1 break even right at this area, and I'm expecting my price to, because my original trade idea is to look for a 1 to 3 on this pattern and to go short and take my TP around the 0.89264. So this happened on a Thursday. Then we keep waiting. So remember, we have another point of interest here where definitely we have buyers interested in going long in this particular position. But what do you do as a trader? You stay confident in your analysis and you keep trading. So now we keep waiting. So if you notice, immediately price got to this particular position, we can see how price has reversed just a bit. But my original prediction in the market, I stay with it and do not allow the little flutters in the market to affect my idea. So we keep waiting, and you can see how price played around that area and dropped. So once we had this drop, I was also looking for another position, and this was my idea. I think this was a Friday. So on Monday open, I was looking for price to come back to this area of interest again to keep selling short. So what did price do? We closed the week below. We closed this week below. Then Monday came, and look at how Monday price came to this area of my interest for me to sell short, but it didn't play out in the time frame that I'm interested in taking this trade. So this price closed around 2 p.m. New York session. I don't take trade 2 p.m. London session, so I just allow the original trade to do its thing, and this is what happened. And price hits a 1 to 3. So this is my thought process for every trade I take on the 4-hour. And you remember, every trade is unique, and this particular trade is definitely going to be different from any other trades. This particular trade is unique, and I think about trading on a series of trade perspective. I don't think about it on a trade by trade perspective. With all this analysis, with all this confluence, price can still do this and I get stopped out. It can do this, give me exactly what I'm looking for, and just go like this. We do not control the markets. We are not the one that is going to take my trade. My analysis doesn't guarantee the fact that anybody that the sellers that are going to continue selling in this market have the same idea as me. So it's just a probability game, like I've always said. So yeah, this is my USDCHF trade for this week, and it ended in TP. So for you to keep learning stuff like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, follow the process and the results will unveil itself at the end of the day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.